Lin-Manuel Miranda. I hope I said that name correctly. As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, I thought it would be very informative if we read a book about the creator of the infamous Broadway play Hamilton, who is Mr. Miranda. Have you ever dreamed about writing songs or about singing on the Broadway stage? How about making movies? Maybe you enjoy watching and listening to other people act and sing. Or maybe you want to spend your life singing and dancing and making people happy. If you like to do any of those things, you should meet Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel wrote Hamilton, one of the most popular Broadway plays of all time. He also inspired people all over the world to learn about the beginnings of the United States history. He taught the world about Latin music and Latino traditions. And he didn't do it overnight by himself. He spent many years working on his music and learning his craft. He also had a strong team of friends who helped him tremendously. Lin-Manuel made his dreams come true. Once you meet him, no matter what you dream of doing, you'll be inspired to make your dreams come true too. New York Dreams. When he was born on January 16, 1980 in New York City, his parents, Louis Thomas Miranda and Luis A. Miranda Jr., were both from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of the United States, but it is not a state. He grew up in a mostly Hispanic neighborhood. His home was full of music, and he started learning to play the piano when he was only 6 years old. His parents listened to Spanish songs and Broadway shows and Broadway tunes. His older sister, also named Louis, liked hip-hop. You'd hear all kinds of different music coming out of the car windows and storefronts and fire escapes. And he said, "I loved my neighborhood." He gave his sister credit for helping him develop his taste in music. All of my first hip-hop albums were stolen directly from her. She also helped him get ready for the first time that he was to appear on stage at a kindergarten talent show. His parents worked very hard, but the family didn't have money to see any Broadway shows. They bought the cast albums instead, and he would listen to them over and over to memorize the lyrics. He also loved Disney movies like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. His favorite film was The Little Mermaid, and he loved the funny crab character called Sebastian. He went to see the movie many times. In the 4th grade, he used to jump up on his desk at school and sing Sebastian songs under the sea. He also memorized the dance moves. The Disney movies even inspired Lin to make his own recordings and videos. Lin-Manuel went to a school for gifted children in New York City. A school for gifted children is a school for extraordinarily smart kids. And he was able to share his Puerto Rican culture with all of his classmates. He shared exciting Latin music and delicious food. Even though he was very smart, he was still very intimidated by his classmates. He felt like they were all smarter than he was, so he decided to pick something he wanted to do and worked really hard at it. That was singing, acting, and writing songs. By the 6th grade, he was in all of the school's musical. In high school, he was in almost every school play. He wrote plays and musicals about his own life, which showed his classmates what it was like to be Puerto Rican. He also tried to blend in, or could we say, not stand out too much. He decided that the best way he could do that was to highlight his Latino background. He also directed the show West Side Story in his senior year. The musical was about a Puerto Rican and white teenagers in New York City who had to fight when a white girl falls in love with a Puerto Rican. It wasn't being Latino that made Lin-Manuel stand out. Everyone could see how talented he was. Everyone could see that when it was time for him to go to college, that there was no mistake that he was going to go into the musical theater field. He had a lot of dreams, but working in the musical theater was the thing he most wanted to do. In college, which was Wesleyan University in Connecticut, he studied the theater arts. He performed in college musicals and wrote his own songs, his own shows, and one of the shows that he performed in was set in a Hispanic neighborhood near where he grew up at in New York City. It was set in Washington Heights. When he graduated college, he had a first draft of a musical called In the Heights. The show used Latin music and hip hop to tell a story about the joys and troubles of the people in the neighborhood. 1 week after he graduated from college, he met a friend from Wesleyan College, Tommy Cale. Tommy was a theater director and thought In the Heights had a promise. He encouraged him to keep working on it, and he offered his help whenever he could. Other friends wanted to meet a musician named Alex, Lacamoire, who ended up joining them as the show's musical director. While they were working on In the Heights, Lin-Manuel and Tommy also sang and act together with a hip-hop comedy group he started in college called Freestyle Love Supreme. Audience members would shout out words, and his friends would make up funny songs and skits. He wrote songs and acted in shows like Sesame Street and The Electric Company, and he also worked as a substitute teacher. With Tommy as a director, Alex became the leading role in The Heights, which opened in an off-Broadway theater in 2007. Off-Broadway theaters are usually a lot smaller than Broadway theaters. In the Heights was a hit and moved on to Broadway in 2008. It went on to win a Tony Award, the highest award a Broadway show can win, for Best Musical of the Year. The cast recording won a Grammy Award. Lin-Manuel's Broadway dreams were soon coming true. He continued to work on other shows, including a Spanish-English version of West Side Story. While he wondered what his next big project would be, he was reading a biography about United States founding fathers. That biography of Alexander Hamilton would change his life forever. Lin-Manuel read about Alexander Hamilton's life while sitting by the pool at a hotel in Mexico. After just a few chapters, he realized that Hamilton would make a great subject for a musical album. Hamilton was a poor orphan from an island who came to America all by himself. Hamilton went on to become George Washington's right-hand man and a leader in our founding country. Lin-Manuel could relate to the story because his parents were poor and also came to the mainland United States. He thought that hip-hop was the perfect music to tell Hamilton's story. Hip-hop music is filled with energy and excitement. So when the 13 American colonies fought for their independence for England, why couldn't it be set to hip-hop music? He finished one song about Hamilton when he was invited to perform at the White House on May 12, 2009. President Barack Obama asked him to sing a song from In the Heights, which was still on Broadway at the time. Instead, Lin-Manuel decided to take a chance and try something new. With Alex on the piano, he sang about a poor immigrant who helped to make America rich and strong. He sang Alexander Hamilton, the song that would later be the opening number of the Broadway show. The audience loved it. President Obama was the first one on his feet to cheer and clap. Millions of people watched him sing the song on YouTube. Suddenly, the world wanted to know more about Alexander Hamilton, both the man and the album Lin-Manuel was working on. For the next 2 years, Lin-Manuel was busy with other projects. Then in June 2011, he sang My Shot, the third song from the show, at a benefit performance. It had taken him more than a year to get the song exactly right. The audience loved it. It was time for him to get busy and write more songs. During the next 3 years, He worked on Hamilton whenever he could, and he also married Vanessa, Nadal, a scientist and a lawyer. He first met Vanessa in high school, but he was too shy to talk to her. But he found her on Facebook after college. He invited her to a freestyle Love Surprise show, and Vanessa came. He was still too shy to talk to her that night, but a friend got her phone number for him. Vanessa came to more shows and they started dating. They were married in 2010. Vanessa and Lynn adopted a stray dog they found on the beach in the Dominican Republic. The half-starved dog nibbled on Vanessa's ankle. They decided to take the dog home and name her Tobillo, which is Spanish for ankle. Today, they have two sons, Sebastian and Francisco. One of the reasons they named their first son Sebastian was because of the funny crab from The Little Mermaid. All along, even Lin-Manuel got married, he was still working on Hamilton. With the help of friends like Tommy and Alex, the show was ready to open at an off-Broadway theater in January 2015. The play was phenomenal, and he played Alexander Hamilton. Some people were surprised that Lin-Manuel chose people of color to play many of the leading roles. Historically, the people in the roles were usually supposed to be white. But Lin thought it was important to cast to look like America today, not the America of 200 years ago. He also wanted to celebrate the people of color who helped build the United States and didn't get credit in the history books. The show ended up being a huge success off-Broadway and moved on to Broadway in July 2015 to the same theater in which In the Heights played. The theater is almost directly across the Hudson River from the spot where, in real life, Alexander Hamilton was shot by Aaron Burr in a duel in 1804. Hamilton was greeted by fireworks over the Hudson on opening night. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama and won 11 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Lin-Manuel's friends, Tommy and Alex, also won Tony Awards. In July of 2016, Lin-Manuel made his final appearance in the show. But Hamilton continues to break records on Broadway and beyond, with shows opening in other cities around the country and even in London, England. Lin-Manuel may have left the cast of Hamilton, but he has not stopped singing, acting, and even writing songs. He wrote songs for the Disney film M-O-A-N-A? Moana. He also has a starting role in the film Mary Poppins Returns. And he'll be working on the music for a real live version of The Little Mermaid. He continues to do everything he can to celebrate Latino culture and share that with the world. He also helps raise money for Puerto Rico and for important causes like women's health. What else is in store for one of Broadway's most popular stars ever? Whatever it is, we know that he will change the world with his art. He'll turn to his friends for help and work hard to make his dreams come true. Not that you've ever met him, but I bet you are thinking the same thing. What is in store for Lin-Manuel? You have just been enlightened by the biography of